Welcome to Vintage Gaming Memories. Shall we play a game?
Hello everyone, welcome back to Vintage Gaming Memories. I appreciate your interest in this video. I hope you'll enjoy this one as much as I am creating it. So let's get right into this. This is the first I've owned by this manufacturer, Kenner Electronics. I've always wanted a Kenner handheld because I'm sure I didn't own one as a child, but maybe my brother or friends did, because something about Kenner's unique looking game design seems to bring back a memory, especially the racing games and that steering wheel design, which this one here has. On that note, this particular game is Kenner Electronics Long Beach Grand Prix from 1981. So let's get a look at this. This is what was wrapped up in the box with another item, which I haven't even looked at yet. But here it is. This is sold to me as in working condition, so that's cool to know. I thought, from my recall, the pictures online looked really good, and they sure do look like that in person. It's a very cool looking design, like I said, a steering wheel. It's a race going around laps, and you have certain turns you have to go through at a certain speed to avoid crashing. There is shifting, up and down shifting. You have your brake and your gas. The class to choose from, 1 through 3. Toggle between start and laps, and the ignition. Now let's look really close at this. It's really in great condition too. I think the battery compartment was pretty clean from what I remember. Let's pop that open and take a look at it. I don't think I'm going to use my finger to do that. And wow, check that out. This looks really good. Even the foam that's on the back side of the battery cover is still intact. And no corrosion whatsoever. And get a load of this. There's a clear plastic strap that's anchoring the battery cover from the inside so you don't lose it. I'm sure that probably lasted for just some short time after opening and closing this. I'm sure these broke off, but that's a pretty cool idea. Electronic, do not drop. So it does take 6 AA batteries that we just saw. Oh, and by the way, forgot to mention, you can also go with an AC adapter plug-in here if you don't want to use batteries, which is nice. This is a really good looking Kenner game, I have to say. I can't find anything right now that looks like it's been used. I know it's a used game, but there's really no scratches, no scuffs. The plastic is intact, not really anything minor. I guess I could see on there. I could probably buff it off, but the coloring, there's no chips. The peeling of the stickers are all perfect. Yeah, I'm not seeing a game that's been used that looks like this, so I'm very impressed. This is what, 43 years old? 44? 43 years old. So really good. And I want to get another Kenner game, which is the drag race one, which is called Redline. So the bar is set pretty high with this one, assuming it does work. But what I'm going to do next, before we do turn it on, is I'll clean this up, wipe it down, polish it, whatever, throw some batteries in it, and then give it a shot. I know. Why clean this first before you test it out? That's just the confidence I have with this one, and probably with a lot of the stuff I get, that it's going to work. So that's just my routine. I'm going to clean it up, give it a shot, and that's the excitement of it all. Hopefully it will work. So I'll be right back in 1 second. All right, well, I'm back, and I have to tell you, this is by far the cleanest used game I've ever received. There was not one speck of dust or grime or anything on this when I wiped it down. I was shocked. So one of two things, right? Either the seller did a great job of cleaning this before he packed this up and shipped it, or two, the previous owner, whoever owned this, had this thing packaged up for 40 years and never really used it. But either way, I'm happy. So not much to say other than I did polish it, so it's got a little bit more of a shine. But that's about it. Batteries are in there now, ready to go. So let me change the view on this. All right, so what I just did was change the camera speed because I believe there's going to be some motion in this game, and hopefully it'll show better. So let me give you a quick rundown on how this game works, at least as far as the objective goes, and this will be from my best knowledge of what I anticipate it to be like and from what I've read. Not much on this as far as instructions go, so hopefully I'm kind of correct with this. What I do know is there's 9 laps possible, 1 through 9. You can select it here when you turn it on. And the goal and the objective is to make the laps as quick as possible. So the lowest time is the best. And you have certain obstacles as you do your lap. So you start right here and you go clockwise through. However, you can't just speed all the way through it at 100 plus miles an hour. There's certain bends and turns and corners that you can only have a max speed of 65, 95, 65, 95, and so on, 125. And if you happen to go too fast and you don't slow down, you will crash. Now you have a couple ways of accelerating and slowing down. You have your obvious gas and your brake, but you can also upshift and downshift here as well, which is pretty cool. I'm not sure how many gears are on here. We'll figure that out. There is classes here, 1 through 3. So obviously I think that would be the level of difficulty. And then you have your on and off switch right here. Pretty simple. So let's turn this on first, and hopefully we get some sounds and some lights with this. So let's see. All right, let's turn this on and see what happens. Good sign. The engine is revving up. I see that the zeros across the board look good. They're all solid. There's nothing broken in them. And there's my vehicle right there. Perfect. So I think the next thing I do is I just select the number of laps, like I said, between 1 and 9. I'm going to do 1 lap. There goes 1. And there's, I think that's the starting flag. So let's go. Gas. First gear. Taking off. Looks like I can go about 62 miles an hour in first. I have it full throttle there. I'm going to take the turn. Go to second gear. Downshift. Go to second gear again. Go to third gear. Go back down to second. Go back to first. Second gear to cross. All right. So 48, I guess that's 48 seconds that took me to do that lap. I think I just hit start again to do another one. Let me just turn this off so you can hear me. That was pretty cool. There was some strategy and some skills involved. You have to try to figure out what your top speed is on that gear. And I was on class 1, so I'm sure class 2 and 3 will probably have a higher or different gear ratio for this, where I could probably get a higher speed on first gear. But first gear looked like about 61, I think. It was my max. I could have probably gone to second for a little bit on this turn before I shifted up to second gear to get higher speeds and so forth. But that was pretty cool. Let's try this again, and we'll go to a higher class. We'll do class 3. Let's see the difference. And we'll do 1 lap as well. Okay. Oh, it sounds different too, the engine. Wow, look at that. It's pretty, 78 miles an hour. I don't want to crash. I crashed. So that's what a crash sounds like. Definitely more difficult because my top end on first gear was a lot faster than 61 miles an hour, and I had to throttle it just right to get around, at least to get the best turns in getting through these corners so I don't take too much time. Really good. I like this game. It's kind of fun. Now, one thing I noticed is that you can't blow the engine, so you can redline it on every gear, it looks like, and I won't blow the engine. So that's good. But you're just wasting time if you're not making any speed going through these turns at the gear that you're in. You have to really figure out where you should be. So it'll take a little bit of practice, but awesome game. I can see this being fun and challenging. There's not a two-player game where you see a score and you turn it over to your friend to play. You just have to remember what your ET was on that lap or laps that you did, and then tell your buddy that's the score you have to beat. Now I'm guessing if you do more than one lap, it's not an average. It's probably going to be a total combined. So we're going to do one more run at this, and we're going to do 2 laps, and I'm going to go on the easy level. And we'll see if it does a average or if it's a total. Assuming I don't crash. 2 laps. Here we go. Start. Whew, I almost crashed, but I didn't. Shows, what is it, 86? So yeah, that's a total combined of both laps, not an average. So that was pretty cool. 86 seconds, I guess, to do 2 laps on a Class 1. Check this out. This is pretty cool. So I'm going to leave it in Class 1. I'm going to turn it on. I'm not going to run a game, but I just want to show you something here. So if I hold the brake and gas at the same time, hear that sound? And if I release the brake, it's like launch control. Awesome. This is exactly how you want to take off. You want to have them both held down and then release the brake to get the best launch off the line. Now check this out as well. Listen to the sound as the engine revs or red lines at that gear. This is in Class 1. Put it to Class 2. Class 3. Obviously higher RPMs, right? That is pretty cool. So I wish they had RPM shown on here, but you can definitely tell probably with the gearing when you see how fast you can go from each of these gears. But man, it's a really cool game. I can see myself getting hooked on this if I was a kid or even today. Definitely fun, and I love the way it looks. I mean, you got a steering wheel, you're doing the Grand Prix. Kenner did a great job on this game, and I can see why this was very sought after. Very hard to find, at least for me at this time, to get this one, and especially in this condition. Granted, there's no box. That's quite all right. Now on my way to look for that other one, Redline. So, hope you enjoyed this video. Comment down below. Let me know if you ever own this one, want to own this one, or heard about it or played on it. Curious on what your scores are and any tricks or tips or hints that you can give me since this is my first run at it. Appreciate your time. Once again, keep that gaming passion from the past alive by living it today. Take care, everyone.